Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right, so as many of you know, flying has become a real pain. Between overcrowded airports, flight cancellations, flight delays, lack of services, nickel and dime charges by the airlines. For example, Frontier now charges, if you need help with your bag, checking your bag at the airport, they're going to charge you for that. But now, airlines are making record profits. For example, American Airlines just posted their third quarter earnings of over $13.5 billion. That's only in the third quarter, a new record for American Airlines. So you would think that maybe some of the creature comfort services on a flight would improve now. I remember the old days, they give you a blanket and a pillow, and you could even purchase food in economy. So we're wondering, are things gonna be any better?
There are two things we wonder. Is the airport less crazy? And are the services better on the airlines?
And guess what? We're gonna show you, because today we're flying from the East Coast to California. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get to the airport.
The first leg of our flight was from Myrtle Beach Airport to Charlotte. Since we weren't in the summer season, Myrtle Beach Airport was not too crowded. And the good news was that our flight was leaving on time. We were on one of American's smaller planes, but with a short flight time of less than 45 minutes, it wasn't too bad.
We're just closing up the door now. We'll be pushing back from the gate here in a few minutes. It's a quick flight once we take off, just 30 minutes in the air, only got up to 16,000 feet. This is a mostly smooth flight coming down here. We expect the same going up to Charlotte. A little bit nicer weather. We're in Charlotte right now. The latest reported is scattered clouds and a temperature of 59 degrees Fahrenheit. We do want to thank you for choosing American Airlines. Just sit back, enjoy the short flight to Charlotte.
The seats were cramped in economy, but since it was a short flight, it really didn't matter. Before we knew it, we were on approach to Charlotte Airport. All right, we made it to Charlotte. We got our coffee, and I must say the place does not look as crowded as it did over the summer. Maybe things are finally starting to slow down. But we have about 2 hours to the next flight. The one thing I hate about Charlotte is whenever we land, we have to go to another terminal, which can be like a 30-minute walk. So we're going to take our time this time since we have about 2 hours to the next flight. It's a long walk between terminals, which can be a real issue if you have a short connecting time.
And if your connecting flight is 40 minutes, you better run.
So far, everything was on time, and we relaxed in the atrium at the Charlotte Airport. Our flight was at the gate and looked like everything was ready to go, and then we heard this.
This particular aircraft that's outside that was anticipating taking you to San Francisco is going to be taken out of service. There is an oil issue, so they are in the process of looking for another aircraft. We are in a hub, so that's a promising note. So it should be just a few more minutes. We're waiting for our tower to advise us what gates and what time we're looking at for San Francisco. We do appreciate your patience. If you do walk away from the boarding area, you're welcome to look at the board, but it's going to be just a few more minutes till we'll be able to establish what airplane and what time we're looking at departure for San Francisco.
American moved everyone to a new gate, C9, where we waited for about an hour and a half for the replacement plane. Still waiting for the replacement plane. Everyone stared out the window waiting for the plane to arrive. But there weren't enough seats to accommodate the passengers at the new gate. So many people, including us, stood for the hour and a half waiting for the new plane to arrive. Finally, it arrived.
Yay!
It was time to board. Now, when we booked our flights, we tried a carinate hack where you book the aisle and window seat with the hope that you'll have the whole row to yourself.
All right, so finally got on board. We're trying a carinate hack where you book the aisle and the window and hopefully have the whole row to yourself. But the flight's pretty full, so I don't know if it's going to work.
So far, so good.
But the flight was packed, so no such luck.
So the carinate hack did not work.
And again, we will be ready to depart as soon as we have all overhead bins
we
closed.
gave the Sue seat to a nice gentleman. So I'd say these Airbuses that Americans using are pretty tight. The seats are actually pretty thin and uncomfortable. Certainly for a 5-hour flight, I would have expected something a little more comfortable, maybe a little more room.
We are on an Airbus 321, which according to the brochure was revised in February 2022. It did have larger overhead bins, but the seats were uncomfortable, with very thin padding and a tight fit. Sitting this way for 5.5 hours was not fun. Strapped in like sardines in economy, we were on our way. We were running almost 2 hours late, but we were thankful that American Airlines could find a replacement plane at the last minute.
From Charlotte to San Francisco, our flying time will be 4 hours and 55 minutes. We're flying at an altitude of 34,000 feet. Weather conditions in San Francisco are mostly cloudy with a temperature of 59 Fahrenheit and 15 Celsius. In just a few moments, the flight attendants will be in the aisle to show you a safety demonstration on our Airbus 321 aircraft. Attention, please.
After about an hour and a half in flight, we were getting hungry. We were happy to see the food cart coming down the aisle. We both were anticipating something to eat. Even though this was a cross-country flight, in economy they only offered complimentary soda, coffee, tea, and juices, and biscuits and pretzels to eat. But you could purchase something for your supper. They offered gummy bears, salami, cheese, almonds, and Pringles.
Now, not too long ago, when flying cross-country, even in economy, you could purchase at least a sandwich. American Airlines, if you're listening, it's time to bring the food back.
We ate our biscuits and pretzels and enjoyed the view. And after 5.5 hours, we landed in San Francisco.
When you open the overhead compartment, be careful, as items may have moved in flight.
We made it to California.
Yes, we did, and thanks to American Airlines for getting us here safely and for finding a new plane to replace our broken plane in Charlotte. But we have to say, knowing that Americans making great profits, $13.5 million in revenue this last quarter, it's time to step up the game for those in economy. I mean, we flew cross-country, 5.5 hour trip over dinner time, and there was nothing offered of part of real food. I mean, they gave us the usual drink of soda and a little bit of pretzels and some biscuits, and you could purchase some food, but the food was like gummy bears, chips, or maybe a little bit of salami and cheese. But really, you know, at this point, you got to bring back what they used to do in the past. Offer some sandwiches, at least maybe for purchase.
And the seats were so small, I didn't like touching another person that I didn't know for 6 hours.
Yeah, we were crammed in there like sardines. So step up your game, American. You got the money from what we understand. Treat the economy passengers right. So until next time, safe travels.
How were your recent flights? Leave a comment below.